Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take another look here at SUI, see what's going on, see if this is sweet or not so sweet. That is definitely a play on words there, but all jokes aside, not looking so good, really. We see this short-term ascending trend line with a bearish backtest at that resistance at 475. I mentioned paying close attention to that level. If it doesn't hold as support, see what happens next. And again, with that bearishly backtesting that's basically making this a resistance range versus a support range. So again, you got to keep in mind this coin, not really worth or advisable to consider shorts. I would recommend longs at specific areas if we were to continue lower. So what we'll do is we'll talk about those potential areas down below. Keep in mind there's a big chunk of liquidation above us. We've known this for a while though, so I wouldn't really at this point, I wouldn't really expect that level to be tested just yet. We got a lot of resistance above us. But between now and then, the important thing to recognize is to look at the charts, abstractly, without emotion, and to make sure that we just kind of take this, take what we have, all the knowledge that we have that we can gain here on the liquidation and the charts, and try to make an informed decision. Try not to FOMO in emotionally right now because you're mad that you got liquidated and you just jump right back in. That usually doesn't help too much. Keep in mind this coin, you're going to find more success going up than down. Generally speaking, that's true. But if you look at liquidation, there's quite a lot still below us here. And only half that local liquidation here got swept there. So I would say between 410 and 430, there's still a decent chance we see that low $4 mark retested. So it wouldn't hurt to consider adding to your spot bags and kind of seeing what's going on there. But for right now, at this point, based on liquidation, we're closer to the lower range than we are the upper range. We look at the macro here, heavy concentration at $4.20. That's not a good look. So I think 420 would probably be the next area of consideration. Generally speaking, when you see the price action retest a local low here like this, you can expect it to come down just a little bit lower. More often than not, instead of just doing a parallel bounce off that same exact level, you'll oftentimes see the next low a little bit lower to sweep that liquidation. That's generally what we're seeing here. So again, 420, potential area of consideration for a long, but just know that we're right on the edge of disaster here. This 350 to or 340 to $4 range is pretty bad. Okay, so just know that that exists there. Most people are short heavy on this coin. There's more shorts than longs, which feels kind of weird to say because this coin recovers so quickly that I think it's super risky to consider shorts. So don't necessarily recommend that. Once more, as per usual, wait for a long is probably the better strategy than to try to short into it. If we take a look at open interest here, though, look at this. Late longs at 475, 473, 460, and 450, all underwater. Okay, so again, not to say that that's bad. If you're part of that, there's a decent chance at some point it'll recover. But is it going to happen right now? Probably not. Just based on the simple fact that we're seeing this strong amount of confluence at that 475 range. You kind of average these two out. It's 475. That's an established resistance level right here for us. So I don't like the price action right now, and I feel like we may actually see the price action continue lower here soon. So let's take a quick look at the daily and kind of work our way down. Here's another reason why I'm mentioning potential further downside is likely. Okay, now again, we zoom out here on the daily time frame. When was the last time we were officially closing below the 50-day SMA? That was back in September on the 6th when the price was 81 cents. All right. To give you perspective, we're now officially, okay, I wouldn't say official, sorry, a little premature, but we're officially under, but haven't closed officially under that level yet. Okay. So again, I'll stop using the word official. I apologize. I'm overusing that. But the key takeaway here is that 450 is that resistance range, and that's right there where the 50-day SMA is hanging out. And if we close below that, I've mentioned this previously, generally not a good sign. It typically implies a bearish type of divergence. Okay. So again, this is going to be the first time since September at 80 some odd cents that SUI has actually potentially closed below that. Okay, all right, that's the last time I say that. All right, so here's the thing. When we look at this here, we're under the 20 and the 50-day SMA. Generally speaking, it's not good when the price action is under 50 in the RSI concurrent with the moving averages. So we've got a lot of confluence here letting us know that a shift in momentum is happening and the SUI is due to continue lower. Okay, so it's just, again, a macro perspective. Is this a guarantee it's going to continue? No, but it's not a good look, right? Just not something you want to try to take a long into. Okay, so again, I know most folks that watch this are probably more long biased. I know I generally am too, but again, this coin is exuding a lot of reasons why a short position actually might be a lot more viable. Okay, and again, if you've watched me for any time, you'll know that shorting SUI carries inherently a lot more risk, so I don't recommend it. But from a technical standpoint, everything we've seen here so far is significantly bearish and things are pointing down. A lot of confirming factors I look for when looking for shorts kind of comes into play here. All right, so we got all moving averages above the price action. Once again, 460 to 470. A lot of again confluence here. Look at how much there is here. 475 to 480. Not only do we have that massive point of control, we got that resistance range. We've got a lot of open interest too as well right here, implying we got a lot of resistance. There's a ton of reasons why taking a long position right now into that doesn't make a ton of sense. Now, keep in mind, you could potentially take a long and the price may return to that area and reject, but it's already kind of done that so far. And I don't really like trying to get into something like this when you're this late in the game. So not necessarily a recommendation here to consider a long. You could argue this is a double bottom. But I don't really like to attach myself to, the thought process that a coin's just going to recover because there's a small pattern. Keep in mind, just say this is a double bottom, which is generally construed as a bullish sign. That's one constellation in a sea of red, all right? Do you want to do that? Do you really want to take a long based on one trading pattern when everything else is telling you the price is going to go down? It's not recommended. It's not the way to go. Okay, so again, be careful if you see people posting online about these amazing patterns, these hidden bearish divergences and all that crap. It's garbage, and it's reaching, and that's all there is to it. There's nothing here telling us the price is going to recover. We have every single green light here to consider a short versus a long position. Okay, again, I'm not recommending you short this coin because it's a highly volatile coin and it recovers to the upside quite quickly in most cases. But lately it's been a little on the dumpy side, and it is essentially showing that this 475 range is a pretty significant resistance, and that we got to respect that until it's closed above. So for me, I'm not going to be bullish or even remotely bullish on this coin until we see a solid closure over 480. And that's that local point of control. I'll post a playout chart in our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord here shortly, kind of reflect my findings here. But if you're not familiar, it does look a little something like this. And oh, hey, this is the theme for the day. Market maker is just, yeah, look how awesome this is. This is a super trashy market. I mean, Bitcoin is just an absolute ripsaw. Trading today is just not appropriate. Really, that's all there is to it. Granted, I'm leaning towards a Solana short. That's a different story altogether. If you saw my video, you'll probably know why I'm leaning that way. But at this point here, no trade is probably the best trade. Okay. All right, folks. Let's just let the dust settle for a little bit and pick up where we left off tomorrow. How about that? I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for your time. Take care.